Hello everybody, welcome to our channel once again. Thank you for being here. Needless to say, if you haven't subscribed to our channel and you are interested in our campaign and in our topics, go ahead and do it now, and you're going to be notified when we upload a new video. So let's begin. I will say that this is a topic that is not so beautiful, but we need to get out this elephant of the room in order to stop this crime, or I would say this abominable crime called human trafficking, that I know that it makes our blood oil. So what is human trafficking? Human trafficking is a trade of people for purpose like forced labor, sexual slavery, and commercial sexual exploitation, and 1% of them are taken to have forced marriages and organ harvesting, and also forced to beg, right? According to the United Nations. And who are the victims? Well, homeless people, foster job, and children, of course. And needless to say, most of them are women and girls. And for each 4 people, three of them are trafficked for the purpose of sexual exploitation. And how happens this? Well, people, if we can call them in that way, I'm sorry, but really makes me serious. Well, they take advantage of vulnerable people, I would say innocent people, and they capture them with use of force, abduction, fraud, coercion, and deception, of course. So today I want to focus in students. Why? Because according to United Nations, the last 15 years, the rates of this crime have increased. So in children from 10% to more than 30% nowadays. So this number is alarming and we need to do something. So you may think, well, but why this crime is increasing? And the answer is technology. Unfortunately, I know that technology is very helpful, but sometimes you don't know the dark side, and this is one of those dark sides. The famous social medias is now a tool for those criminals to catch our vulnerable children, vulnerable youth. They are the target because in those ages you know that they are vulnerable and therefore are more likely to be deceived. Nevertheless, it's not only for that reason, but also because they don't know how to manage their social medias in a preventive way. Now I'll deep dive about what is the common weakness of the victims and how to figure it out, of course. And well, first of all, I would say that the lack of information of all of them, and which ones are the guilty ones. No, for you to feel under the weather, but we as a parents and also I would say that the state, because they also have the responsibility to take care of them, right? So what we need to do, well, I would say that is spill the beans about the increasing of this crime, remove the elephant in the room once again. Don't feel fear about this topic. and we need to raise our voices actually. In other words, we need to create consciousness because that is the power that we have, right? Sometimes we don't know how to use it, but we can learn. So, which is the best place to spill the beans? Well, first of all, our homes, right? But also schools, high schools, universities. And we need to take advantage of all those places where youth, our youth spend a lot of time every day, right? I would say if we had implemented this kind of conversations in the classrooms, in our homes, many years ago or from the word go, we would have avoided a lot of pain and the rates would be pretty much less nowadays. But it's not time to regret, it's time to work on that, right? So I have some pieces of advice for you. And the first one is communication. This is the best important thing. I know this can be a strong topic and painful as well. However, sadly, it's a reality in our world, and we cannot pretend keep our children in a bubble, right? So we have the obligation as parents to talk about this. And you don't have to cause fear. You have to be intelligent to talk and wise, of course, wisely. Now the second point, the second piece of advice is the use of social medias. So take the time and sit down with them, teach them how to prevent these cases, and remark the importance of don't believe all that you watch in social media. And besides, have strategies. To have strategies after sleep when they have a sinking feeling with a person is wonderful. I would say that we need to learn more about our instinct because I think it has a lot of power and if we learn how to use it, we can avoid many problems actually. And moreover, give them a sort of protection. For example, pepper spray. That could be a really good idea. And well, in conclusion, if we work together creating consciousness among youth, among children, using your creativity, watching with them movies or watching videos, technology, I know that technology can be dangerous but can be helpful as well, so take advantage of that. And I know they will be able to be more prudent and understanding that it exists dangerous people around the world and faces we see but hearts we don't know. Even more dangerous in social medias, right? Where you cannot see even the faces. So that's my conclusion. Now, finally, I would like to invite you to share hashtag no more tears for creating awareness in our population, in our job population. And well, now you listen to Isaac and Journey who have more information about this interesting topic.
Greetings, people. Here we are again. Also, thank you, Serena, for introducing this topic. And I'm not gonna lie, this topic is such an interesting topic. At the end of the day, it's a sad reality that we are living here. Well, to get started, and let's start with the introduction, but deeply. That is human trafficking in high schools. Yeah, just imagine high schools, right? The sad part of this is that most people would disappear just because of this. On the other hand, I would love to, in order to get the ball rolling, I would share, for example, the causes on or how this works nowadays here. For example, as simple as um, most of the high schools here, in the case of Costa Rica, there's a part of the high school that we all need to, let's say, ask for a temporary job. For, let's say, most of the cases there are high schools that offer, like, let's say, like mini majors in accountability, secretary, and so on, right? So once you're looking for a business right there, let's say, there are several companies that are ghost companies that are quite dangerous, let's be honest, because if you send information to them, there's a little probability that they might call you, but the truth is that there's no a job there, and your life might be in danger as well. On the other hand, as I mentioned, there are ghost companies and so on. But let's say that you, as an adult, let's say, you have applied to any company that is, let's say, quite important for you, and suddenly someone call you, and it's telling you that you got an interview and so on, but there's a trap. Why? Well, most of the cases, from my experience, I would say that when you got an interview from a job, let's say, they ask you for information that is, for example, your resume, ID number, and so on, in order to them have your information by the time of the interview. But most people call them with just saying, by saying, you got the interview, we will see you there, and so on. And actually, someone that I know has been in that situation, that just commented that to me yesterday, that it's quite interesting that they didn't ask for, let's say, the information that it's quite important in order to have an interview. So once the person that I know, let's say, got there was no one, and at the end of the day there were people following at him and so on, and her life or his life was in danger. That's the point. But how would we know that? Because it's quite difficult to know it. Well, there are some, let's say, initiatives that have been showing the truth of these companies, and in which let's say which companies or high schools that we would love to, let's say, apply. We need to apply in order to not to get this kind of, well, kidnap, because all started with a kidnap. They kidnapped you, and then the human traffic starts, let's say. On the other hand, there's a, let's say, a variation, or let's call it variation, when a friend sells you down to the river, and at the end of the day it wasn't a job, and then you are in danger just because your friend recommend you to go to, let's say, a job interview that at the end of the day it wasn't, and now your life is in danger. And also nowadays there's a movie that it's quite good, that has just released and launched to the cine theater, that you should go nowadays, because all the, let's say, profit of this movie will help people in or the initiations or campaigns that are looking forward to helping people that might be kidnapped, or just to avoid human trafficking. On the other hand, it's quite impressive how this works, because let's say that most of the companies or campaigns that are involved, they all the procedure, let's say, it's as simple as tracking you if you are in danger. But wait, you might ask how this works, right? Well, at the end of the day, what they do is that there are apps in almost all social media, even friends. You can send, let's say, your ubications or where you're located in real time in case that you're in danger. So with that in mind, that's such a good solution in case that you are interested in. And the sad part of all of this, that if you are in the middle of a, let's say, interview, and at the end of the day it wasn't, you don't have a leg to stand on, and that's it. That I would say that there's no turning back, and we will not know what could happen to all of us, because let's be honest, this kind of topic, or let's say situations, we haven't got used to, at least not yet in my case. So it's kind of interesting to see how people manage this, and how, let's say, human trafficking, or the people that are behind it, are looking other ways to catch people, let's say.
Hello everyone, thank you Isaac for sharing this kind of information with us. Today I will be sharing with you about empowering youth and long-term impact. So let's start. Awareness of human trafficking among young people is a crucial issue that demands our attention. The vulnerability of young people to exploration and trafficking is alarming and shouldn't be ignored. So, to put it mildly, today's topic is the elephant in the room: empowering young people to take action against human trafficking. This segment focuses on how education equips young minds with the knowledge and tools to recognize and respond to, as well prevent trafficking. If we become aware of the impact that informed youth can have on society, this could significantly decrease human trafficking. Empowerment, often associated with strength and agency, is just as relevant to our youth. Empowering young people means giving them awareness, practical tools, and skills to effect change. Knowledge about human trafficking is about understanding the problem and equipping our youth to identify potential trafficking situations and respond effectively. Doing so give them the power to safeguard themselves and others, transforming them into active agents against exploration and preventing this problem from turning us into a bundle of nervous as a society. I would like to share with you about the impact of educating students about human trafficking. It cannot be understated, because if this situation continues to happen as a society, we will be down in the dumps. Informed youth are more than just aware. They are equipped with the ability to identify the signs of trafficking and to report them well. We can use social media to give them some pieces of advice. For example, my co-workers and I use YouTube to do so. Students have found that educated youth are more likely to recognize vulnerable situations and take steps to prevent to prevent them by arming youth mind with knowledge. We are breaking this cycle of vulnerability and exploration, creating a safer society for everyone. The impact of awareness campaigns goes beyond the classroom walls. Personal stories of students who had been inspired to become advocates reveal the true power of education. These young individuals took it upon themselves to spread awareness in their communities, creating a ripple effect extending far beyond the campaign's initial reach. These stories underscore the genuine impact that young youth can have when they are empowered with knowledge and a sense of responsibility. For example, we have one testimony about two girls. I will put the link below in the comments if you want to learn more about it. But in a few words, these situations are common in some countries like India. This is a real example of human trafficking nowadays. With this situation, we need to take awareness and create a conscience about it. It can be difficult for us to understand how these horrible crimes works. However, these issues makes my blood boil because every day traffickers use different kind of techniques to attract people who need it, change their life and their economic status. They always traffickers, they always playing psychological games to manipulate the victims. So we need to attack these kind of issues. So it's important to keep in mind that education plays an essential role in shaping the mindset of young individuals. By creating safe environments where people can discuss sensitive topics like human trafficking, and where educators can create a safe space where students can ask some questions or share their opinions about this kind of topics. So human trafficking awareness efforts are not a one-time initiative. They require ongoing commitment. By consistently educating each new generation, we ensure that awareness remains high and vigilance if maintained. The sustainability of these campaigns is crucial in educating a society that not only recognizes the signs of trafficking but also responds to it effectively. Through persistence, we contribute to a culture shift in how society views and addresses the issue because we know a little bit about it. This is only the tip of the iceberg. In conclusion, we want to empower young people against human trafficking and create awareness of education's impact. Finally, I invite each of you to join the movement and let's unite to support ongoing human trafficking awareness initiative and be the change we want to see. Thank you for your attention. If you wish, you can type your comment below and we will be happy to read you. See you in the next video.